essence. The overwhelming force threatened to consume all in its fissure of shadow and glow. Liara reappeared amid the tempest, her true form unveiled, a guardian entrusted with maintaining the delicate balance of the sable light's secret cycle. Her emerald eyes conveyed both warning and enigmatic authority. She cautioned that disturbing the natural cycle, controlling the sable light, could bring about eternal darkness, a fate worse than the creeping void itself. Her words weighed heavily on their resolute hearts. Though Soren questioned Leora's motives and true allegiance, his connection to the obsidian blade and its hidden history told him there was more beneath her words. Suspicion and necessity intertwined in the dim light of their shared quest. Aaron's visions grew darker, each one unraveling threads of disaster tied to misuse of the sable light. The glowing crescent tattoo pulsed erratically, warning of worlds shattered and balance lost if the power was harnessed unwisely. Suddenly, a subtle distortion warped the temple's very fabric, splitting their paths as if reality itself was tearing. The sable light flickered unpredictably, casting restless shadows that forced Aaron and Soren apart, testing their resolve. Soren found himself face to face with a mirrored figure, forged entirely from sable shadows and bearing his hardened expression. The obsidian blade's edge shimmered, revealing hidden truths as he braced for a confrontation beyond mere reflection. Meanwhile, Aaron wandered through a labyrinth carved from twisting sable light, moonlit echoes guiding their steps. Each turn revealed cryptic clues tied to the silver crescent, driving them toward a vital key shrouded in shifting darkness. Their paths converged just as the sable light began to collapse inward, threatening to erase the temple's existence. Together, they stood firm amid the increasing intensity, the ambient glow wrapping tightly around them. From the folding shadows emerged Leora, her emerald gaze steady and unsettling. She declared that only by uniting the crescent tattoo's power with the obsidian blade's essence could the temple be saved and balance restored. With unspoken understanding, Aaron and Soren combined their strengths, channeling the sable light through shared determination. The crescent moon tattoo glowed fiercely as the obsidian blade's reflection deepened, binding their fates. The sable light convulsed wildly, surging in response, but teetering on the brink of overload. Pulses of sable energy raced like wild tides, threatening to consume all else in their path unless controlled. Liara retreated silently into the shadows, her form dissipating as the sable light began to stabilize. The shifting darkness calmed, leaving a fragile peace lingering in the temple's core. Without warning, the ground trembled as the sable light condensed into a floating orb of luminous depth. It hovered between them, a testament to the balance they fought to preserve, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The orb's surface mirrored Aaron's amber eyes and Soren's solemn gaze, intertwining light and shadow in perfect harmony. It pulsed softly, echoing the temple's heartbeat and their intertwined destinies. In that moment, they understood the orb embodied the intricate balance between light and shadow, the sacred trust of the temple's guardians. It was both shield and key to a fragile equilibrium teetering on the edge of darkness. Suddenly, a shadowy form lunged to seize the orb, cloaked in sable and malice. But the radiant crescent glow flared, repelling the figure with an ethereal force that rippled through the temple air. Raising the obsidian blade high, Soren channeled the orb's radiant power, releasing a pulse that banished the shadow figure back into the void. The blade's edge gleamed with newfound strength, a beacon against encroaching darkness. Aaron's crescent tattoo blazed brighter than ever, its light syncing perfectly with the blade's obsidian edge. Together, their symbols intertwined, forging a potent shield of light and shadow woven from shared resolve. Gradually, the sable light softened and dispersed peacefully, restoring calm to the temple's ancient stones and surrounding shadows. The tension melted into quiet harmony beneath the watchful crescent moon. Leora appeared once more, her smile faint and enigmatic as she dissolved into moonlit mist. Her presence lingered like a whispered promise, a guardian watching from the shifting veils of shadow. Standing side by side under the tranquil crescent moon, Aaron and Soren bore the marks of their trials but held unwavering determination. Their bond had been tested and forged anew, united in guardianship of a powerful legacy. They vowed to protect the delicate balance represented by the sable light, prepared to face any threat that sought to tip its scale. guardians not only of the temple, but of the truths hidden within shadow and crescent glow alike. Slowly, the temple doors closed with quiet grace, the sable light reduced to a faint and steady gleam that illuminated their oath. The sacred space breathed with calm assurance, shadows and light held in equilibrium. Time moved on as Aaron sat in meditation atop the temple's peak, the silver crescent on their wrist now steady and serene. Their eyes held a calm awareness, reflecting wisdom gained through trials with the sable light. At the temple below, Soren trained fresh guardians in the art of wielding the obsidian blade and understanding the lore of sable light. His teachings passed on the legacy of shadow and crescent symbols, echoing through coming generations. Unexpectedly, a gentle flicker of sable light danced across a quiet corner of the temple, a soft reminder of bonds forged and journeys endured. The subtle illumination hinted at a lingering connection woven deep within the temple's heart. Aaron felt a faint whisper carried on the crescent moon's glow, voices from distant realms or hidden truths yet to be uncovered. The call stirred their spirit, a reminder that mysteries still awaited beyond the veil of light and shadow. Soren silently sharpened his obsidian blade by firelight, preparing for challenges yet unseen. The blade's edge caught the dim sable glow, reflecting readiness and a steadfast commitment to what was to come. Deep within the temple's shadowed depths, an ancient scroll unfurled itself as if alive, its parchment glowing faintly beneath the sable light. The delicate script revealed forgotten truths buried by time, promising to unveil the origin of the enigmatic sable light. Aaron's crescent tattoo shimmered softly in response, drawing them closer to the revelation. The scroll spoke of a primordial being, neither purely light nor darkness, whose very essence created the delicate balance between the two. This entity existed beyond mortal realms, harmonizing opposing forces and ensuring the continual cycle of day and night. Its presence was woven into the sable light itself, an eternal testament to the unity of contrast. As Aaron and Soren absorbed this profound knowledge, the weight of their quest deepened. They understood their roles were not isolated acts of heroism, but pivotal links in an enduring chain of guardianship spanning eras. Their journey was a commitment to protect the fragile balance upheld by the primordial being's influence. In that moment, Soren's obsidian blade vibrated subtly, its edge catching flickers of the sable light's hidden depths. The blade now mirrored the primordial being's essence, reflecting a power both ancient and alive. This newfound resonance fortified their resolve, signaling the beginning of a transcendent alliance. From the temple's edges, under the gentle glow of silver crescent moonlight, Leora's presence whispered back into existence. Her emerald eyes gleamed with quiet certainty, offering cryptic guidance amidst the revelation. Her subtle influence became a beacon, illuminating the path the two must now take. Aaron's crescent tattoo pulsed in tandem with the blade, both infused with the rhythm of the sable light's essence. The harmonious thrum radiated strength, binding their spirits to the primordial balance. United in purpose and power, they felt the transformative energy course through their very beings. With reverence, they prepared the ancient ritual inscribed alongside the scroll's secrets. Sacred symbols were traced under the sable light, weaving a bridge between their world and the concealed realms beyond. Each movement of the ceremony intensified the bond, affirming their roles as guardians of equilibrium. As the final invocation echoed, the temple erupted into a serene blaze of pure sable light, immaculate and all-encompassing. Its serene glow cleansed lingering shadows and illuminated hidden corners alike. The ritual's success resounded through the air, signaling the restoration of profound cosmic balance. Now guardians of a tranquil world, Aaron and Soren stood vigilant beneath the shimmering sable light's gentle embrace. Their watchful eyes reflected readiness for the cycles to come, ever aware the balance must be maintained. In unity, they embraced the timeless guardianship bestowed upon them. Under the tranquil sweep of the crescent moon, the tale drew to a close, yet the echo of sable light lingered on. Silent and unwavering, it stood sentinel over the night, weaving protection through the darkness. Thus, the legacy of balance and light persisted, eternal and unbroken. Lena sprinted through the dense jungle, the mysterious compass clutched tightly in her hand. Every step felt heavier, but the compass needle pulsed with an eerie glow, pointing deeper into the unknown. "Where are you leading me?" she whispered, heart pounding with adrenaline. Suddenly, late at night, Mia heard faint coughing coming from the attic above her bedroom. She told herself it was just the house settling, but the sound didn't stop. It grew heavier, almost like breathing. Curiosity pulling at her, Mia grabbed a flashlight and climbed the narrow stairs, each creak feeding her growing dread. At the top, the door was slightly ajar. A shadow flickered inside as if waiting. She pushed it open and shone her light into the small, dusty space, filled with forgotten antiques and old trunks. There was no one there, just silence and a chill that crawled up her spine. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and went dark, leaving her in almost complete darkness. A cold whisper brushed past her ear. "Why did you come?" Mia's heart pounded as the door slammed shut behind her, plunging her into absolute blackness. She fumbled for her phone, its screen casting a dim glow, revealing a small, ancient doll sitting on a box. The doll's glass eyes gleamed, reflecting a strange, knowing smile. "I've been waiting." The whisper came again, now right beside her. Fear paralyzed her, but then a memory surfaced. Her grandmother warning about a family curse bound to the attic's past. Recalling the old words, Mia whispered, "I release you from this place." The room shuddered, the air lightened, and the door creaked open slowly, as if an unseen weight lifted. She dashed down the stairs, feeling the cold breath fade behind her. Outside, under the moonlight, she stopped and swore never to return. The next morning, the attic door was sealed firmly with fresh nails and a faded note. "Rest now." Mia smiled faintly, the burden finally lifted, and the house felt peaceful for the first time in years. As she walked away, a faint coughing echoed from deep within, but this time it was just the wind. Dave decided today was the day he'd finally win the office chair race. It was an unofficial but fiercely competitive event held every Friday at 4:59 p.m. Rules were simple. Grab your chair, push off from your desk, and race to the break room. It started with a faint tapping sound coming from the attic above Mia's bedroom. Every night, just as the clock struck midnight, the tapping would begin, slow and deliberate. Mia tried to ignore it, blaming old house noises and her restless imagination. But the tapping grew louder, more persistent, turning into a rhythmic knocking that could not be ignored. One night, curiosity won over fear. She crept upstairs, flashlight trembling in her hand. The attic stairs creaked under her weight, a long, narrow space filled with dusty old boxes. Then she heard it, a whisper, soft and urgent, brushing against her ear like a cold breath. "Help me," it hissed, a voice barely louder than the wind. Mia's heart pounded. "Who's there?" she whispered back, her voice shaking. Silence answered before the whisper returned. Trapped, alone, searching through the boxes, Mia found an old journal, its pages yellowed and torn. The diary belonged to a girl named Lucy, who once lived in the house decades ago. Lucy wrote about a terrible secret, about being locked in the attic by someone she once trusted. Suddenly, the attic door slammed shut behind Mia, plunging her into darkness. Desperately, she opened the journal to the last page, a chilling plea to anyone who found it. "Set me free," Lucy's words begged, "before it's too late." With shaky hands, Mia looked up and spotted an old latch on the window, half covered by cobwebs. She forced it open, letting in a gust of fresh, cold air that seemed to lift the oppressive weight around her. The tapping stopped, the whispers faded, light filled the attic once more. Mia whispered, "You're free now," and as dawn broke, the house seemed at peace for the first time in years. The map was ancient, edges frayed and ink faded, yet it promised a secret buried deep in the hollow wood forest. Lena adjusted her worn leather backpack, the morning mist curling around her as she stepped beneath the daunting canopy of towering oaks. Maya waked slowly, the morning sun casting a warm, golden glow through the curtains. Her fingers curl tightly around the cool silver locket at her neck, as if drawing strength from it. In the quiet kitchen, Maya moves with purpose, preparing a simple breakfast while the soft, haunting melody of an old music box hums somewhere in the background. The tune feels familiar yet distant, weaving through the stillness. Elias enters silently, his sharp blue eyes immediately fixed on a stack of yellowed letters spread carefully across the table. Concern deepens the furrows on his brow as he reads, sensing the weight these papers carry. Maya reaches out, holding a faded photograph in front of Elias, a smiling woman clutching the very same silver locket. Elias' guarded expression tightens, as if memories long buried stir uneasily. Suddenly, the door swings open and Lita bursts inside, her auburn hair wild from the wind. She announces breathlessly that the entire neighborhood is plunged into darkness, a sudden power outage casting uncertainty over the day. As the last artificial light dies, the room becomes enveloped in shadow. Flickering candles sputter to life, their warm glow painting fleeting images on the walls around them. Maya suggests they make the most of the unexpected darkness, searching for clues hidden in the past that might link to the photograph. An urgent determination settles over the group. Elias retrieves a dusty shelf's lone treasure, an ancient clock, its face cracked and frozen in time. He studies the broken hands with a careful, almost reverent touch, trying to glean hidden meaning. Nervously, Lita begins to hum a melody taught by her grandmother, a haunting tune once locked inside the now silent music box. Her voice trembles softly as shadows seem to gather. Maya pores over the photograph's story, piecing together fragments as flickering candlelight casts shifting shapes across the walls, playing tricks on their eyes and minds alike. A sharp knock at the door jolts them. A weathered messenger, eyes full of caution, hands Maya an old envelope sealed shut, thick with mystery and silence. Breaking the seal, Maya unfurls a cryptic note hinting at buried secrets beneath a forgotten garden. Each word seems steeped in shadow, beckoning them onward despite unseen dangers. With exchanged wary glances, the trio silently agrees to follow the lead, tension thick in the air, as uncertainty creeps forward with every heartbeat. They ready themselves with flashlights and warm coats, a protective barrier against the cold, and the unknown looming beyond their threshold. As Maya steps into the cool night, the silver locket catches a sliver of moonlight, glinting like a beacon of hope and determination on her chest. Cautiously, they tread toward the overgrown garden marked on the note, where long shadows stretch and twist beneath the dark sky. Lita's foot strikes something hard. She kneels and finds a shattered clock face half buried in the dirt, mirroring the broken one inside their home. Elias crouches beside her, tracing the jagged hands frozen at a precise time. His brows knit tighter, the weight of this discovery deepening their unease. The faint wind carries Lita's melody anew, now more urgent, almost ghostly. The notes seem to swirl around them, entwined with the night air and unseen presences. Maya uncovers a weathered wooden box hidden under the tangled roots of a gnarled tree, its surface carved with strange, intricate symbols. Opening it, she finds a yellow journal filled with delicate handwriting and carefully pressed flowers. The fragile pages whisper secrets long kept beneath the earth. As Maya reads aloud, Elias notices the fading photograph clenched in her hand beginning to shimmer faintly, as if awakening from a long slumber. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet trembles slightly, sending a ripple of fear through the group and testing their resolve. Lita suddenly points toward a figure lurking at the edge of the tree line. Its features are lost in shadow, but its watchful presence unmistakable. The figure vanishes as a gust of wind sweeps through, scattering dry leaves across the soil and wrapping them in a chill that reaches deep into their bones. Maya's voice trembles with resolve as she reads aloud the journal's entries, revealing stories of lost promises and wounds that time has failed to heal. Each word echoes in the quiet room, stirring a heaviness that hangs in the air. The pages seem to carry the weight of sorrow and unresolved pain. As Elias carefully flips through the fragile journal, his sharp eyes catch a torn piece of paper tucked between the pages, marked with the same cryptic symbols etched on the wooden box. His furrowed brow deepens, sensing a connection that beckons deeper investigation. The enigmatic markings hint at secrets yet uncovered. In the dimness, Lita's voice falters as the persistent melody grows louder, its haunting notes seemingly reverberating off unseen walls around them. The music envelops the space, weaving through shadows and stirring an uneasy sense of anticipation. The atmosphere thickens with each passing moment. Clutching the silver locket tightly, Maya finds strength in its familiar weight against her palm. It anchors her amid swirling doubt and a rising tide of fear, its cold metal a reminder of the stakes they face. The locket pulses softly, as if responding to the growing tension. Their discovery beneath the garden floor sends a thrill through the group, a hidden door partially concealed by earth and winding roots. The secret entrance feels like a gateway to truths long buried. They exchange determined looks, ready to uncover what lies beyond. Elias hesitates momentarily, but soon joins the effort, carefully digging away soil to expose cold stone steps leading downward. Each unearthed root and clod reveals the passage deeper into mystery. Despite his reservations, he feels compelled forward by the pull of the unknown. Descending the stairs, their flashlights flicker as the melody shifts into a somber tune, echoing softly against the damp walls. The changing music mirrors their cautious steps, casting an emotional shadow over their journey. Every creak and whisper heightens their awareness. Maya's eyes lock onto faded murals along the underground walls, depicting moments from the photographs past with haunting clarity. The images tell fragmented stories, each stroke hinting at memories suspended in time. She traces the scenes silently, feeling history's touch. Elias uncovers a cracked mirror embedded in the stone, its fractured surface reflecting distorted images back at them. The broken shards symbolize hidden truths yet to be revealed. He studies the reflections, sensing the mirror as both barrier and revelation. Lita reaches out tentatively to touch the mural, her fingers brushing a loose stone that unexpectedly shifts aside. This movement reveals a small, hidden compartment nestled within the wall, inviting discovery. Excitement and curiosity flicker across her face. Inside the compartment rests a delicate music box, its surface intricately adorned with the same carvings as the mysterious wooden box. The craftsmanship speaks of care and significance, linking past and present. They exchange looks, realizing its importance. Maya wins the music box with reverent hands, unleashing the melody that floods the chamber once more. Emotions long kept beneath the surface rise, with the haunting tune, stirring memories and unspoken feelings. The music binds them in a shared moment of vulnerability. As the melody swells, shadows within the chamber coalesce into a faint, ethereal figure resembling the woman from the photograph. She reaches out silently, an apparition woven from memory and longing. The group stands still, caught between disbelief and awe. Elias steps forward, his sharp blue eyes reflecting memories and regrets etched deep within his gaze. Confronting this spectral presence challenges his reserve, revealing the depth of his personal connection. The moment weighs heavily on him, intertwining past and present. The figure slowly dissipates as the music slows, leaving behind a whispered hope that lingers in the chilled air. Silence returns, but the echo of the encounter remains, offering a fragile sense of closure. The trio exhales collectively, their resolve strengthened. They ascend the stone stairs carefully, the weight of revelation settling on their shoulders but lifted slightly by newfound understanding. The path behind them feels less obscure, shadows giving way to light. Together, they step toward dawn's promise. Outside, the first light of dawn breaks over the garden, casting warm hues that soften the quiet landscape. The world seems renewed, bathed in gentle gold and a fresh breeze. This new day feels like an answer to their quest. Meyer opens the journal to a final entry, revealing the woman's last wishes intimately tied to the secret held within the silver locket. The words pulse with urgency and tenderness, guiding their next steps. The locket's significance deepens like a heartbeat. Elias unfolds a carefully drawn map tucked inside the journal, its ink marking a path to a nearby hill promising answers and closure. The terrain seems familiar yet charged with mystery. The map becomes their compass forward. Despite exhaustion, the group resolves to follow this path, driven by purpose and the invisible threads that bind them. Each step carries them closer to the truth, fueled by connection and determination. Their journey gains renewed momentum. At the hilltop, they discover a stone altar engraved with dates matching those chronicled in the journal. The carvings speak of time's passage and enduring remembrance. The altar stands as a silent witness to history and hope. Maya reverently places the silver locket on the altar, feeling a subtle pulse of energy in response, as if the locket itself acknowledges their presence. The moment vibrates with significance, linking object and spirit. A quiet power settles over them. The familiar melody returns softly, harmonizing with awakening birdsong and the gentle rustling of the breeze. Nature's soundtrack blends with their own hearts, weaving a tapestry of peace and continuity. The scene embraces them in calm reassurance. Elias, usually reserved, reflects quietly and breaks his silence to share personal memories of the woman, revealing layers others had never seen. His voice carries warmth and regret, bridging past and present. His openness deepens their collective understanding. Lita sketches the serene scene in her journal, capturing the moment for herself and those who may come after. Her spirited touch preserves their shared experience in ink and paper, a tangible record of their journey. The drawing holds hope and history intertwined. As they stood silently before the altar, the earth beneath it trembled unexpectedly. A section of the stone floor slid aside, unveiling a hidden compartment. Within lay a sealed letter, aged but impeccably preserved, inviting them into a secret long buried. Maya carefully broke the seal and unfolded the letter, her voice steady but filled with emotion as she read aloud. The words spoke of sacrifices made in shadows, sacrifices born of love that endured through trials unseen. Each line wove a story of devotion and resilience, connecting past to present. Moved by the revelation, Maya, Elias, and Lita embraced tightly, a shared understanding bridging the gulf of years. The sorrows of bygone days weighed on them, yet now balanced by hope and the possibility of healing. This moment united them beyond mere words. Maya's fingers tightened around the silver locket hanging around her neck, now radiating a warm, gentle glow. It pulsed softly, as if alive, signaling closure and newfound strength. The locket was no longer just a keepsake, but a symbol of enduring resilience. Elias fetched a small sapling and, with deliberate care, planted it beside the altar. This fragile sprout stood as a living testament to renewal and the promise of growth after hardship. His furrowed brow softened, reflecting a rare moment of peace. Nearby, Lita's voice rose softly, humming the familiar melody once more. Her mischievous smile, now transformed into one of genuine hope, brightened the morning air. The tune intertwined with the warmth around them, stitching their spirits closer. The trio settled together, watching the first light of dawn pierce the horizon. Shadows that had lingered retreated slowly, replaced by a gentle glow that spoke of new beginnings. Time seemed to pause, honoring the quiet strength of the moment. Around the altar, the once broken clocks were gathered in a circle, their hands restored by unseen forces. Each ticking second echoed symbolically, marking repair not just of timepieces, but of fractured histories. The melody hummed once more, tying past and future seamlessly. Maya's gaze fixed firmly on the horizon, her resolve clear and unwavering. She pledged silently to carry forward the legacy that had been uncovered, honoring those who came before. The silver locket warmed against her chest, a steady heartbeat of determination. As the camera pulled back, the trio leaned gently on one another, united by shared journeys and newfound hope. The persistent melody threaded through the dawn's light, weaving together the strands of their intertwined stories. Together, they stepped into a future bright with promise. Beneath the twilight sky, a faint glow shimmered within the heart of the ancient crystal grove. Lyra, a young mage whose lineage whispered of forgotten powers, stepped cautiously onto the crystalline path. The grove's delicate trees sparkled with otherworldly light. The alarm's humming was the only sound cutting through the eerie silence of the museum's grand hall. Silas crouched behind a marble pillar, checking his watch, midnight to the second. Time for the plan to unfold. He whispered into the comlink, eyes sharp, team. The Van Gogh isn't going to admire itself. Across the room, Leela perched by the security panel, her fingers dancing over the keypad with practiced ease. Beep! The heavy steel door clicked open silently, the final barrier between them and the priceless masterpiece. Silas glanced up, spotting guards rounding the corner. "Change of plans," he murmured, drawing his smoke bomb. A sudden burst of smoke filled the hallway, confusion spreading like wildfire among the bewildered guards. Leela slipped through the chaos, sliding the glass case open with a glinting tool. The Van Gogh's colors gleamed as she lifted the painting out, replacing it swiftly with a near-perfect replica. "Package secured. Exfil route." Silas's voice was calm, betraying none of the tension. Jax responded from the roof. "Rooftop extraction ready. Deploying zipline now." They moved as one, silent shadows navigating the maze-like corridors with military precision. Suddenly, a motion sensor blinked red. Leela froze, heart racing. "We've got company." Silas grinned, pulling out a mini EMP device. "Count on me to jack the system." Lights flickered and alarms silenced. "Go," he urged, leading the sprint to the roof. Jax caught them at the edge, hooking the zipline harnesses in place with mechanical efficiency. One by one, they zipped away into the night, the city lights blurring beneath them. Safely on the adjacent building, Silas breathed out. "A clean job, team, like clockwork." Leela held up the painting, marveling at the success mingled with disbelief. As dawn broke, the city woke unaware. Tonight, the legend of the clockwork caper would quietly echo through the streets. It was the perfect crime, or so Dave thought as he tiptoed into the kitchen at midnight. The prize, the last cookie in the jar, sitting on the counter like a delicious jewel. Dave glanced over his shoulder. The coast was clear. He reached out, fingers trembling with anticipation. In the stillness of the village bathed by the full moon, Ilara's silver crescent birthmark softly glowed, its light pulsing gently with the lunar glow. Her piercing green eyes reflected the moonlight as she traced the familiar mark on her skin, sensing a quiet resonance with the night. At the forest's edge, Ilara noticed a shimmering, ethereal ribbon of light weaving silently among the ancient trees. The veil flickered subtly under the moonlight, its silvery hues shifting and fluttering like a living thread of light. She reached out cautiously toward the veil, her fingers trembling as the ethereal ribbon rippled briefly at her touch. A faint whisper echoed on the night breeze, unintelligible yet filled with a mysterious urgency. From the shadows stepped Kale, his storm-gray hair tousled by the night air. His weathered cloak seemed to merge with the darkness as his steady gaze reflected the haunting light of the veil. Kale warned Ilara about the veil's power, his voice low and grave, hinting at dangers tied closely to the cycles of the moon. He spoke of forces that could not be easily controlled, and the peril hidden within the shimmering light. Ilara held up her silver crescent pendant, watching it resonate faintly as the veil's light brushed against it. The pendant's subtle glow mirrored the birthmark on her skin, linking her to the mystery unfolding before them. A flashback took her to childhood, when she first discovered the crescent birthmark. Even then, she had been inexplicably drawn to moonlit nights, feeling an unspoken connection to their shifting phases. The village elders gathered in whispered tones, recounting the veil's curse that had loomed over their people for generations. Their stories spoke of restless shadows and the heavy price of past recklessness under the moon. Disturbances grew, Shadows began to move on their own, and villagers reported hearing chilling whispers in solitude. Fear threaded through the village as the unnatural phenomena escalated beyond whispers and glances. Determined, Ilara knelt by a calm pond under the bright moon, tracing the veil's path through the reflections. The silver light twisted fluidly across the water's surface, guiding her gaze deeper into the mystery. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Kale confessed he had tracked the veil for years. His quest to uncover its source was driven by the hope of mastering or perhaps ending its haunting influence. The veil thickened, pulsing rhythmically as ghostly shapes emerged, mimicking villagers' deepest fears with unsettling clarity. The ethereal light warped into haunting forms that tightened its grip on the frightened souls nearby. Ilara's pendant glowed with unexpected intensity, revealing hidden runes etched beneath its surface that had gone unnoticed before. The runes shimmered against the moonlit silver, suggesting a link to ancient wisdom. Suddenly, a fierce gust snuffed out every lantern, plunging the village into deeper shadow. Only the moon remained to illuminate the veil's mesmerizing, yet terrifying, dance in the night. Resolute, Ilara chose to venture into the forest to confront the veil's enigma, with Kale reluctantly binding himself to her. Together, they stepped into the shadows where the moonlight barely pierced the dense canopy. Deeper within the forest, they discovered ancient stones arranged in a crescent shape, faintly glowing beneath the moon's silvery light. The stones hummed with a subtle energy, resonating with the veil that now encircled them. The veil wrapped around the stones, growing more tangible as its whispers rose into haunting melodies that wove through the trees. The silver light pulsed like a living heartbeat, intensifying the eerie atmosphere. Ilara stumbled, and from the shimmer emerged a shadowy figure eerily resembling her own reflection. It reached out, trying to pull her into the veil's radiant but unnerving light, challenging her grip on reality. Kale reacted swiftly, chanting incantations from his ancient journal inscribed with cryptic runes. His voice cut through the night, momentarily dispersing the shadow and soothing the restless veil's turmoil. Their eyes caught a hidden inscription on one of the crescent stones, referencing an ancient ritual designed to bind or control the veil's potent power. The markings hinted at a fragile balance between light and shadow, old as the moon itself. As the night deepened, the veil became tempestuous, tugging fiercely at Ilara's pendant and the birthmark pulsing beneath her skin. The lunar energy strained against her, threatening to overwhelm her senses. Visions assaulted Ilara, moonlit battles between ethereal guardians and veil spirits trapped between worlds. The spectral clashes echoed through her mind, revealing a long-hidden conflict intertwined with her own destiny. Kale disclosed that he had once been a guardian, bound by a curse to roam until the veil's balance was restored. His storm-gray hair and weathered cloak marked years of wandering in search of redemption and renewal. The forest shifted around them. Ancient trees whispered dire warnings as the path back to the village faded into obscurity. Shadows thickened, and the boundary between reality and veil blurred dangerously. A sudden change in the moon's phase warped the veil's form, stretching it like molten silver encasing them. The light's fluid motion intensified, binding Ilara and Kale in its shimmering grasp as the night deepened. Ilara and Kale finally reached the ancient altar, its surface worn smooth by time but still radiating a strange energy. The crescent-shaped indentation in the stone calls to Ilara's pendant, which fits perfectly as if made for the place. The moment the pendant settles, a faint hum vibrates through the air, heightening the tension around them. As Ilara presses the pendant deeper into the altar, a sudden burst of blinding light erupts, flooding the clearing with silvery luminescence. The veil responds violently, thrashing like a living current before enveloping them in its shifting folds. Both find themselves swept away, pulled through an otherworldly vortex that warps the very fabric of their surroundings. They emerge in a liminal realm where the skies glow with a cold silver hue, and the land is draped in long shadows cast by an unseen moon. This ethereal place seems bound by lunar light, both beautiful and haunting, its edges blurred and constantly shifting like a dream. All around, reflective surfaces ripple oddly, mirroring more than just their images. From the shadows flicker faint, sorrowful figures, lost villagers caught in the veil's unyielding curse. They approach silently, their eyes pleading for release though no words escape their lips. The air is thick with a heavy grief that weighs on Alara's heart, deepening her resolve. Suddenly, Alara's silver crescent birthmark glows with intense light, casting a gentle beacon that reaches out to the fragmented souls. The spectral villagers respond, their forms stabilizing as a faint connection is formed between their trapped essence and the waking world. This luminous link offers a fragile hope for their salvation. Kale studies the cryptic runes inscribed within his ancient journal, muttering translations under his breath. He reveals that the veil was originally created as a shield to protect the realm from outside harm, but the magic became twisted over time. The intended guardian became a curse, feeding on the fears of those it was meant to defend. They are soon met by a spectral guardian, an imposing figure woven from light and shadow. The guardian warns them solemnly that interfering with the veil is perilous, threatening to collapse both the liminal realm and the physical world. Its tone is grave, underscoring the fragile balance at stake. Torn between duty and fear, Alara wrestles with whether to sever the veil's corrupt power completely or try to restore its original protective nature. The weight of her people's fate presses heavily on her as the moonlight continues to shift all around them. Kale watches closely, understanding this choice could alter everything. In vision-like echoes, they witness scenes from centuries past, a ritual interrupted and mistakes made that bound the veil's power improperly. Shadows flicker with ancient sorrow, revealing how the once sacred ceremony turned source of torment. This glimpse into history deepens their understanding of the veil's dark transformation. The veil's once gentle shimmer now feeds on fear and despair, distorting the village's destiny under each changing moon phase. The shadows writhe unnaturally, as if alive with malice, and the villagers' suffering becomes a continuous cycle of anguish. This sinister evolution curses the land with dread and hopelessness. Kale confesses that he fled the village long ago, overwhelmed by guilt after failing to stop the curse from spreading. His weathered face reflects years of regret, and his voice carries a somber tone as he admits his past mistakes. Alara's resolve only hardens upon hearing his confession. Determined, Alara pledges to confront the root of the corruption, vowing to free both her people and the trapped souls from the veil's grasp. Her birthmark pulses softly, as if lending its strength to her conviction. Kale nods, ready to stand by her side through whatever trials lie ahead. Back at the altar in the forest realm, Alara and Kale begin a ritual drawn from the ancient runes and guided by the pendant's radiant glow. The air thrums with power as they work in unison, weaving light and shadow to mend the fractured veil. Time seems to stretch as the veil responds to their efforts, but the veil resists violently, twisting in turbulent waves of shadow and shimmering light, fighting to maintain its corrupted hold. The altar trembles under the strain, and the boundaries between realities blur dangerously. It becomes clear that the veil will not surrender its power easily. Summoning her inner strength, Alara channels the energy from her glowing birthmark, stabilizing the veil's tumultuous flow. Her hands steady as a calming lunar light radiates outward, soothing the chaotic forces. Slowly, the balance begins to shift, giving hope that the ritual will succeed. One by one, the trapped souls start to dissolve into serene moonlight, their expressions peaceful as if finally freed from torment. Their silent gratitude fills the liminal realm, lightening the oppressive atmosphere. Each soul's release brings the veil closer to restoration. At the ritual's climax, the spectral guardian merges with the veil itself, a sacrifice that purifies its essence and dispels the lingering darkness. Its form dissolves into radiant light, vanishing but leaving behind a restored balance. The price is great, but necessary for renewal. With calm restored, the liminal realm fades away under the dawn's first light, gently guiding Alara and Kale back to the forest floor. The world feels still and new as the sun's early rays touch the ancient altar. Their journey through shadows and moonlight has reached a turning point. Back in the village, clear skies stretch overhead, and the faintest crescent moon glows softly before sunrise. The suffocating darkness and strange whispers that once plagued the village are lifted. A subtle calm settles over the land, promising a fresh beginning. Alara's pendant has become inert, its light extinguished, yet her silver crescent birthmark remains, pulsing faintly with tranquil lunar energy. This quiet glow serves as a reminder of the veil's lingering presence beneath the surface. Though subdued, the magic endures within her. Days pass peacefully, and villagers report no unusual shadows or haunting whispers at night. The once ominous phases of the moon now bring comfort instead of fear. Life begins to return to its natural rhythm, free from the veil's oppressive influence. Alara and Kale revisit the ancient stones where it all began. The crescent pattern now appears as mere faint reflections of moonlight on the worn rock. The altar's power seems dormant, transformed from feared relic into quiet monument. This subtle change hints at the delicate balance retained beneath the surface. The village elders gather to honor Alara's bravery, sharing stories that reaffirm respect for the moon and its enduring cycles. Their words weave tradition with newfound hope, reminding all of the lessons learned from the veil. Ceremony and reverence bind the community in healing. Prepared to leave the village behind, Alara and Kale share a quiet moment, their bond strengthened by the trials endured together. Mutual respect and understanding pass between them as they ready themselves for the journey ahead. Though the path forward is uncertain, it is faced united. Before departing, Alara conceals the pendant within a secret hollow beneath the oldest tree, guarding the veil's lingering secret with quiet solemnity. The pendant rests there, hidden from prying eyes yet still connected to the moonlit power they confronted. Its silence speaks of mysteries yet to unfold. Suddenly, a soft shimmer returns to the air, subtle and benign, weaving gently through the silvered shadows. It hints that the veil's protective spirit still endures, faint but unwavering beneath the moonlight. Alara smiles, her piercing green eyes reflecting the quiet radiance. She understands now that the veil was never truly lost but transformed, an unseen guardian watching silently over them all. Kale nods solemnly, the storm-gray strands of his hair catching the moonlight as he acknowledges the restored balance between the human realm and the veil's ethereal light. The ancient connection hums quietly between them. As they walk away, the village is bathed in a peaceful silver glow, the moonlight soft and steady. Shadows settle into calm, and the familiar motifs of reflective surfaces seem to hold their secrets gently, undisturbed. Alara glances down and notices her silver crescent birthmark glowing faintly once more, pulsing with a quiet promise. It is a sign of an enduring bond, linking her to the veil and the cycles of the moon. A final flashback reveals the ritual's original guardian, a figure cloaked in moonlit grace, passing the sacred charge to Alara's ancestors. The lineage of protectors is made clear, bridging past and present beneath the shifting phases above. Kale carefully folds his ancient journal, its pages now filled with new runes recounting their journey and the hope born from this night's revelations. Each word is a testament to the legacy they carry forward as guardians. Meanwhile, village children laugh and play beneath the soft moonlight, unaware of the unseen forces that shield them. The veil's silent protection wraps around them, gentle and unseen like a whispered lullaby. Together, Alara and Kale disappear into the horizon, their figures blending with the shadows and moonlight. They are ready to face whatever the next chapter of their intertwined fate will write beneath the celestial veil. Above, the silver moon arcs steadily across the sky, a timeless sentinel watching over all beneath its eternal veil. It remains the silent witness to stories of light, shadow, and enduring promise. The world had turned silent. Cities buried under ash and memories, and I was one of the few who still wandered. I stumbled through the ruins, scavenging what little life remained beneath the gray skies. Amid the debris, a soft hum caught my ear, a sound I hadn't heard. Lena raced against the clock, the Monday morning sun sneaking through her cluttered studio window. Her sketchbook, filled with ideas for the art show tonight, was nowhere to be found. "Where did I put it?" she muttered, flipping through stacks of paper and crumpled notes. Her cat, Miso, strolled by, tail flicking as if aware of the rising panic. Determined, Lena retraced her steps from the weekend's art crawl. At the neighborhood cafe, she asked the barista, who smiled knowingly and pointed to a corner table. Lena's sketchbook lay beneath a pile of magazines, touched by sunlight and forgotten moments. Flipping it open, she found new inspiration in the scattered doodles and faded coffee stains. Back at her studio, friends began to arrive, eager to see her work. Lena shared how losing the sketchbook helped her rediscover the simple joy of creating without pressure. "Sometimes," she said to the group, "the best ideas come from unexpected places." The evening unfolded with laughter, art, and community support filling the small room. Lena's nerves eased as she realized the show was about connection, not perfection. A local artist complimented her resilience, sparking a conversation that planted seeds for collaboration. Miso jumped onto Lena's lap, a silent nod to a day well survived. As the night ended, Lena packed up her sketchbook with a new appreciation for its stories. She promised herself to embrace the messy, beautiful process of creativity going forward. Walking home under the streetlights, she felt lighter, inspired, and ready for whatever came next. Her lost sketchbook wasn't lost after all. It was a reminder she didn't even know she needed. "Tomorrow," Lena whispered, "I'll start a new page." The silent hum of the abandoned space station was broken by a single, unexpected ping on the outdated console. Captain Alara, the last crew member, stared in disbelief as the screen flickered to life with a strange, undecipherable frequency. As dawn breaks over the city, the silhouette of the old clock tower casts long shadows. Mara walks the quiet streets, her mind clouded with memories as the tower's chimes echo in the stillness. Stepping into a cramped workshop crowded with ticking clocks, Mara's fingers brush over a familiar broken pocket watch resting on a cluttered table. The weight of countless hours seems to press on her as she contemplates the fragile object. A close-up reveals the pocket watch's cracked glass and frozen hands, symbolizing a moment frozen in time. Mara sighs, her troubled gaze reflecting the unresolved past the watch represents. Memories flood back. A young Mara receives the pocket watch from her grandfather, the watchmaker. His steady gaze and careful hands imprint a bittersweet legacy in her heart. Returning to the present, Mara sits across from Elias in a dimly lit cafe, the air thick with unspoken tension. Their shared history complicates the fragile conversation unfolding between them. Elias produces a letter sealed with an embossed wax emblem, sliding it towards Mara with a sense of urgency. The weight of its contents hangs heavily between them. Opening the letter, Mara reads about a hidden family secret, threatening to unravel everything she thought she knew. The stakes rise, deepening her internal conflict. After a moment's hesitation, Mara clenches the broken watch tightly, steeling herself to face the shadows of her past head-on. Determination replaces doubt within her eyes. Nearby, Nina watches Mara intently from the shadows, fingers nervously twisting a small mechanical part. Her curiosity wrestles with hesitation, uncertain whether to step forward. Mara enters an aged family home, dust particles dancing in the muted light as she crosses the threshold. Faded memories cling to the walls, whispering stories of days long gone. Her fingers glide over a faded photograph depicting her grandfather wearing a peculiar, knowing smile. The image stirs questions she hadn't dared to ask before. A sudden thunderstorm crashes outside, rain pelting the windows as Mara's turbulent emotions mirror the tempest. The past feels as restless and unyielding as the storm. Elias appears unexpectedly at the doorway, his rugged presence filling the room. He warns Mara of the dangers tied to unearthing buried family truths. Despite Elias's caution, Mara insists on moving forward, fueled by a desperate need for closure. Reluctantly, Elias agrees to accompany her through this uncertain journey. Unexpectedly, the broken pocket watch begins to tick faintly, its eerie rhythm signaling that time itself seems to be shifting. Secrets long dormant stir awake around them. Together, Mara and Elias sift through the attic's shadows, uncovering concealed journals and letters hidden beneath loose floorboards. Each discovery deepens the mystery. Nina steps closer, offering assistance and revealing her surprising connection to Mara's family. Her presence introduces new dimensions to the unfolding story. Tensions flare as Mara and Elias clash over trust, fracturing their uneasy alliance. Old wounds open amid accusations and doubt. In a haunting dream, the watchmaker appears, his cryptic gaze inviting Mara to look beyond the obvious. His steady hands gesture toward truths yet uncovered. Awakening with newfound resolve, Mara discovers a secret compartment within the pocket watch containing a small, enigmatic key. Hope and fear intertwine in her grasp. The key fits an ancient chest hidden beneath the house, which they open to reveal letters and artifacts long concealed. Each piece reshapes Mara's understanding of her family's past. Among the findings is a letter referencing a lost sibling, challenging everything Mara believed about her lineage. This revelation forces her to reconsider her identity. Elias confesses his own ties to the family's history, adding layers of complexity and raising the stakes. His rugged exterior cracks, exposing vulnerabilities tied to shared secrets. Mara's mind flashes back to forgotten or misunderstood childhood moments, fragments of memory swirling like puzzle pieces. Clarity and confusion intertwine as the past resurfaces. Suddenly, the pocket watch stops ticking once more, announcing a crucial turning point. Time's fragile thread seems to hold its breath, awaiting what comes next. Nina sat cross-legged on the floor, delicately examining the intricate pieces of the broken pocket watch. As she adjusted a tiny gear, her fingers brushed against a faint engraving hid casing. Leaning closer, she realized it was a message, carefully etched in an elegant script that had gone unnoticed until now. The message spoke of a meeting place tied to Mara's grandfather, hinting at old alliances and betrayals long buried. The words suggested that answers lay buried within forgotten walls, places where time seemed to stand still, yet memories whispered endlessly. Mara's mind raced as the past began to entwine more tightly with their present quest. Under the cloak of night, Mara, Elias clad in his worn leather jacket, and curious Nina ventured toward an abandoned train station. The cold air was thick with anticipation, and the shadows cast by the flickering lantern grew longer with each step. Guided by the secret message, their footsteps echoed into the darkness of a place forgotten by time. Unseen eyes seemed to watch their every movement as vague silhouettes moved beyond the station's broken windows. The atmosphere thickened with unease, signaling that danger was closer than they realized. Each glance shared was met with silence, warning them that they were not alone in this pursuit of truth. Tension surfaced between Elias and Mara, their voices low but edged with frustration over past decisions and recent risks. Bitter words hinted at cracks forming in their once solid partnership, revealing fears and doubts beneath their steely exteriors. Sensing the growing divide, Nina quickly intervened, her youthful voice urging calm and unity among them. Their search uncovered a hidden trapdoor beneath loose wooden planks, leading down into a secret room. Inside, the walls were adorned with cryptic symbols, and countless clocks of various designs ticked in unison, creating a haunting symphony of time. The air was thick with mystery, each element hinting at layers of concealed history awaiting discovery. Mara's fingers traced the carvings on the wall, triggering a subtle mechanism embedded within the ancient wood. A panel slid open silently, revealing a secret document covered in faded ink that detailed the true loyalties of her family. The revelation was profound, challenging everything she believed about her lineage and legacy. Elias eyed the fragile parchment warily, his rugged features tightening with concern. He questioned whether unveiling such truths was worth the chaos that might follow, fearing the fractures it could cause in their fragile community. His hesitation cast a shadow over the group's resolve as the gravity of their discovery sank in. Mara met his doubts with steely determination, her silver-streaked hair catching the dim light as she vowed to see the truth brought into the open. She believed that only by confronting the past could they hope to heal their fractured bonds. Her resolve ignited a flicker of hope amidst the tension, solidifying her role as their leader. Suddenly, the fragile trust that had held them together shattered when an unexpected betrayal surfaced from within their own group. A subtle, almost imperceptible act revealed hidden motives, throwing suspicion in every direction. The betrayal threatened to unravel all they had worked towards, demanding reckoning and clarity. In a surprising moment, Nina confessed her true motives, linking her actions to a solemn promise made to the watchmaker years before. Her fidgeting hands betrayed the weight of her secret, yet her eyes remained resolute. This revelation added a new layer of complexity, binding their fates even tighter with threads woven long ago. The watchmaker's voice seemed to echo through the shadows, guiding them with a riddle that wove together themes of time and memory. His meticulous hands, though unseen, felt present in the silence as they pondered the cryptic words. This counsel offered a path forward, shaping the next chapter of their intertwined journey. With renewed purpose, Mara reached out to Elias, bridging the gulf that had formed between them. Their reconciliation was quiet but firm, a mutual acknowledgement of the dangers they faced and the strength needed to overcome them. Together with Nina, they formed a united front against the threats closing in. They raced through rain-slicked streets, desperate to retrieve a final piece of evidence before it could be snatched away by darker forces. Every moment felt borrowed, the clocks ticking a stark reminder of time slipping through their fingers. Their combined skills and determination fueled the pursuit, driven by nerves and hope alike. A fierce storm raged outside, rain beating against the windows as the antique clocks within the safe room began to chime in perfect unison. The symphony of ticking hands grew louder, signaling the climax of their quest was near. Inside, tension and anticipation mingled, as moments stretched beyond themselves in the storm's heart. Hidden within an old ledger, they uncovered a detailed account of familial tragedies, betrayals concealed, and truths covered up for generations. The pages revealed the causes and consequences of past actions, painting a sorrowful picture of sacrifice and deceit. This knowledge brought clarity, but at a heavy emotional cost for all involved. Suddenly, the shadows coalesced into figures intent on silencing their discoveries forever. The trio found themselves cornered, the sinister presence closing in swiftly and without mercy. Adrenaline surged as instincts took over, turning their hunt for truth into a battle for survival. Drawing on the watchmaker's riddles, Mara deftly outmaneuvered their pursuers, using her knowledge of time and memory as a weapon. Each step and decision was calculated, turning the labyrinthine station into a maze their enemies could not navigate. Her sharp mind and steady resolve kept them one step ahead in the deadly game. In a moment of selfless courage, Nina created a diversion, drawing the adversaries away with quick thinking and fearless resolve. Her actions bought Mara and Elias precious seconds to escape, though at great personal risk. This sacrifice underscored the deep bonds forged in trust and shared purpose. Safely ensconced in a secluded room, the trio pored over the ledger's contents, preparing to expose the painful truths to the world. Each detail was matched with mounting urgency, their words poised to unite or divide their community. The weight of their responsibility settled heavy as they planned the inevitable reveal. Mara hesitated, her silver hair catching the flickering candlelight as she wrestled with the cost of unveiling the truth. She knew that once revealed, the community's fragile peace could shatter, igniting conflict and old wounds anew. Her inner turmoil reflected the difficult balance between transparency and protection. Flashbacks unfolded, revealing the watchmaker's past efforts to shield the family from ruin through careful silence and guarded secrets. His meticulous hands had crafted more than just clocks, they held time's fragile story within, preserving legacies through subtle measures. These memories cast a new light on his guidance and sacrifices. With renewed clarity, Mara reconciled her protective instinct with her commitment to honesty. Her resolve strengthened, embracing the painful necessity of revelation as a path to healing and reconciliation. This inner peace fortified her for the challenging road ahead. Together, Elias aided Mara in drafting a heartfelt letter intended to unite the fractured family and their community through truth and compassion. Their joint effort symbolized a tentative truce, a bridge built with trust and understanding. Each word was chosen with care, carrying the weight of hope for a reconciled future. At last, the broken pocket watch was carefully repaired, its steady ticking resonating through the quiet room. The rhythm symbolized restored balance and mercy, a tangible sign that time could heal even the deepest wounds. The watch's heartbeat marked a new beginning, threading together past and present with cautious optimism. In the town square, Mara stands before a gathered crowd, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. She recounts the long-hidden family history, unveiling truths wrapped in pain and regret, and asks for understanding and forgiveness. The broken pocket watch in her hand glints in the fading light, symbolizing the fragments of time now pieced together. As Mara's words settle, the community's reactions ripple through the crowd. Some people nod slowly, their faces softening with empathy, while others tighten their jaws, recoiling in shock and denial. Whispers spread, mixing acceptance with doubt, reflecting the complexity of embracing a complicated past. Through the murmurs, Elias steps forward beside Mara, his weathered leather jacket catching the evening breeze. His quiet support is palpable, a protective presence that reveals both loyalty and the vulnerability of standing firm amid judgment. His gaze meets Mara's, silently conveying strength and shared burden. Nina fiddles nervously with a small gear, then reveals she has been quietly preserving the family's legacy in her own way. Her role as keeper of the overlooked truths earns her cautious respect from those previously doubtful. The community begins to see her curiosity not as trouble, but as a bridge toward healing. Later, Mara visits the shaded grave of the watchmaker, the man who once taught her to value time's intricate layers. She places the broken pocket watch gently on the weathered stone, a tribute to the past and those who guide from beyond. The watchmaker's grave seems to hold the silent wisdom of countless hours and secrets shared. As twilight turns into night, the old clock tower in the heart of the town chimes, its sound clear and true. Miraculously, all the clocks in town align with its rhythm, their hands moving in synchronized harmony. This resonance breathes new life into the community, symbolizing unity restored after long discord. Walking through familiar streets, Mara senses a subtle transformation around her. The air carries a quiet promise, as neighbors exchange tentative smiles and old rifts begin fading like shadows at dawn. Her heart swells with hope, recognizing the first threads of rebuilding woven through everyday moments. In a moment of shared silence, Mara and Elias stand side by side beneath the glow of the clock tower. They acknowledge the scars etched by the past, but also the new beginning forged from honest surrender. Their connection deepens, a testament to enduring resilience amid change. Back in the dusty workshop, Nina carefully begins mending aged clocks, her nimble fingers coaxing life back into broken mechanisms. Her curiosity has shifted from restless questions to a healing craft, bridging the community's fractured timeline. Each ticking clock she restores is a quiet melody of renewal and hope. The story closes on the restored pocket watch, its delicate hands moving steadily and softly marking time. Its gentle ticking echoes the endless cycles of life, memories, and truths that layer one upon another. In this sound lies the subtle promise of forgiveness, continuity, and new stories yet to unfold. Mira stands silently at the edge of the misty valley, clutching her pendant which emits a soft, pulsating glow. Her bright green eyes scan the hazy landscape, uncertainty and resolve mingling within her gaze. Kale strides into the village. In the heart of the ancient forest stood the whispering oak, its vast branches swaying even when the air was still. Ilara, a young mapmaker from the nearby village, ventured to the tree, drawn by tales of its mysterious murmurs. She reached the tree just as twilight painted the sky in purple hues, the whispers growing louder in the fading light. Leaning close, she could make out words woven with stories of lost lands and forgotten magic. Intrigued, Ilara pressed her ear to the bark, and a sudden warmth spread through her fingertips. The tree revealed a secret map etched within its rings, visible only to those who listened with an open heart. Ilara traced the delicate lines, and suddenly the map shimmered, unfolding a path to a hidden glade. Determined, she set off along the trail, leaves crunching underfoot, guided by the oak's gentle whispers. The forest seemed alive, shadows dancing and stars peeking through the canopy above. After crossing a silver stream and climbing mossy stones, Ilara arrived at the glade bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a stone pedestal bearing an ancient key, glowing softly under the night sky. She reached out, fingers trembling, and took the key, feeling a pulse of magic coursing through her veins. The whispering oak's voice echoed gently. "With this, you unlock more than doors, you unlock destinies." Ilara smiled, understanding the journey was just beginning, but the mapmaker's curiosity was her true compass. Returning home at dawn, the forest alive with morning light, she held the key close, ready for the next adventure. Villagers noticed a new spark in her eyes, tales spreading about the girl who spoke to trees and followed whispers. Ilara knew the oak's secret was safe with her, a bridge between worlds waiting to be crossed again. And every so often, when the breeze stirred just right, the whispering oak called to her once more. "Remember," it would say softly, "the greatest maps are drawn with courage and heart." With a newfound purpose, Ilara set her quill to parchment, ready to chart the wonders hidden beyond the known world. Lena sprinted through the dense jungle, the mysterious compass clutched tightly in her hand. Every step felt heavier, but the compass needle pulsed with an eerie glow, pointing deeper into the unknown. "Where are you leading me?" she whispered, heart pounding with adrenaline. Suddenly, Lyra moves carefully through the desolate cityscape, ashes swirling around her silver-streaked hair as she clutches the cracked compass her mother once owned. The ruins around her whisper stories of a forgotten past, the flickering embers of distant fires casting long shadows. From behind a collapsed building, Merck's scarred face emerges, his weathered cloak blending with the grayness of the crumbled surroundings. His steady amber gaze watches Lyra silently, weighing the dangers that lie ahead. Tala slips through the ruined streets, her piercing blue eyes scanning every corner with razor focus. Silent as the drifting ashes, she moves like a ghost, alert for unseen threats in the broken world. At the shattered fountain, Lyra meets Merck, their eyes meeting in a tense nod of acknowledgement. The mechanical raven on Lyra's shoulder flickers its rusty wings, its soft clicks echoing faintly amid the desolation. Lyra unfolds the faded map, trembling fingers tracing a precarious route toward a safe haven marked long ago. Merck watches thoughtfully, the weight of their uncertain path heavy between them. A distant rumble shakes the cracked streets as dust falls from shattered windows. A massive convoy of scavengers, armed and ruthless, approaches, casting long, ominous shadows over the ruins. Quickly, the trio smothers their small campfire, smudging the glowing embers as the scavengers' silhouettes stretch closer. The fragile warmth and light vanish, swallowed by the encroaching menace. Tala catches sight of the scavenger leader, a towering figure wielding a crude spear. With a swift, silent gesture, she signals danger, her piercing blue eyes fierce as the shadows tighten. Lyra clutches the cracked compass tightly, her gaze stealing against the gray sky. Determined, she vows to protect the map's secret at all costs, knowing it could mean salvation or destruction. Merck loads his improvised crossbow, every motion practiced but tense. His amber eyes survey the uneven streets, seeking the best defensive position amid the jagged ruins. The mechanical raven takes flight from Lyra's shoulder, its rusty wings beating hurriedly as it circles above. With soft mechanical clicks, it distracts the scavengers, buying precious moments for the group to reposition. Lyra, Merk, and Tala slip silently into narrow alleys, their footsteps muffled on the cracked pavement. Shadows of ruins envelop them as they evade the scavengers' ever-closer patrols. Suddenly, a clatter breaks the silence. A loose metal pipe tumbles wildly across the ground. The group freezes, hearts pounding as scavengers turn sharply toward their trail, voices rough and rising. The scavengers spread out aggressively, scouring the ruins with echoing shouts that bounce off cracked walls. The air thickens with tension, dust swirling like whispers of danger. In a hushed tone, Lyra whispers of the map's secret, a rumored haven with untouched resources that could change everything. But now, with predators closing in, that secret is at grave risk. To confuse their pursuers, the group briefly splits, each taking shadowed paths through narrow passages. Tala leads with swift, silent movements, a ghost weaving through the remnants of the old world. Merk narrowly escapes a deadly encounter, ducking behind collapsed rubble just as a scavenger's spear shatters stone inches away. His breath hitches, the close call fueling his resolve. Guided by the cracked compass, Lyra finds the entrance to an underground tunnel faintly marked on the faded map. The promise of shelter hides beneath the ruined city's surface. As the group regroups at the tunnel's mouth, the mechanical raven emits a sharp, warning click. The scavengers are closing in fast, their harsh voices growing nearer, echoing across the desolation. Inside the tunnel, the trio navigates dim, crumbling corridors filled with dust and stale memories. The flickers of faint light reveal relics of a lost world mingling hope with decay. Suddenly, the passage collapses behind them with a thunderous crash, sealing the scavengers outside, but blocking their escape. The heavy silence that follows tightens like a cage around them. Soft green bioluminescent fungi cast an eerie glow along the underground path, illuminating forgotten life that persists beneath the ruinous earth. The delicate light dances on worn metallic relics scattered by time. Tensions flare as dwindling supplies press heavily. Merk shares stories of the world before, voices low and steady. Around a smoldering shard of fire, flickers of hope ignite in the darkness. A hidden door creaks open silently on the tunnel wall, revealing symbols that match those on the map. A tentative beacon of hope advances, the promise of discovery barely contained in the still air. Within the chamber, ancient machinery hums faintly, its brittle data cubes glowing with a partial preservation by time. The air pulses with forgotten knowledge, fragile and flickering like the fires outside. Lyra studies the intricate symbols carved into the chamber walls, her fingers tracing the faded markings. She realizes they describe the safe haven not just as a refuge, but as a naturally sealed vault that once contained a devastating experiment gone wrong. The clues hint that the sanctuary's safety comes with a hidden danger lurking beneath the surface. Without warning, ancient machinery sputters to life, sparks cascading as a spectral blue light floods the underground chamber. The mechanical raven emits a sharp clicking sound, its eyes reflecting the eerie glow. Shadows twist and dance as long-dormant defenses awaken with a mechanical groan. Alarms clang and whir as mechanical defenses surge forward, energy pulses streaking through the air. Merk ducks behind a shattered pillar while Tala dives aside, narrowly avoiding a shifting wall. Lyra clutches her cracked compass, eyes scanning rapidly for a safe path amidst the chaos. Tala's quick fingers find a hidden switch concealed beneath rusted panels. With a click, the relentless machinery ceases, the hum of power fading into silence. A newly revealed passage yawns open deeper into the vault, promising answers but demanding courage. Carefully, they descend into a cavernous vault where ancient technology hums softly. Rows of preserved seed banks stand alongside water filtration units, and at the vault's heart, a pulsating energy core glows steady blue. The remnants of a lost world offer fragile hope amid the ruins. Hope flickers in Lyra's eyes, but her gaze lingers on cryptic warnings etched into the machinery's surface. The inscriptions speak of contamination risks, remnants of a